as large as the main cast is the supporting one, as every girl and boy has a friend or two they hang out with. I'm not going to delve into all of them, of course, but I will look at the most important recurring characters on this show, of which there are 3. Foremost in the supporting cast is Miya Tachibana, little sister to Junichi and the best friend of both Sai and Nanasaki. Miya, being our hero's only appearing family, is naturally very present in Junichi's life, where she is shown as being very fond of Junichi and growing jealous of any girl starting to get too friendly with him, Sai, Nanasaki, and Rihoko being exceptions. An energetic, lively girl who constantly refers to her brother with the affectionate pet name of
ニーニと学校行くの久しぶりだね。
そうか？
だってニーニいつもミャーのこと置いていっちゃうじゃん。
You said Nini! Miya is the ringleader amongst her friends and is always the one to decide the order of the day, no matter how silly it may be. Can you say animal suits? As cute a little sister and as good a friend as you could ever hope for, Miya Tachibana is like a little ray of sunshine in the lives of her loved ones. Not as prominent as Miya, but still important in their ways, are Masayoshi Umehara and Hibiki Tsukahara. Umehara is Junichi's male childhood friend and fellow appreciator of the voluptuous assets, who never hesitates to let his Taisho access the treasure trove of pin-up magazines he possesses. Umehara is a good-natured, excitable fellow who laments his lack of a love life and plans to inherit his family's sushi shop. His main purpose is to be a source of comedy and Junichi's moral support along with Kaoru in matters of romance. When it comes to setting up that relationship flag, you can always count on him! As for Hibiki, well, the captain of the Kibito swimming team is a recurring presence in the lives of both her best friend Morishima and her fellow team member Nanasaki. Despite being irritated by Morishima's fanciful antics and her tendency to peep in on her club's activities, Hibiki is a good source of sensible advice to her friend and is willing to indulge her more outlandish whims despite herself. Towards Nanasaki, Hibiki is a good mentor who endeavors to help her both in matters of swimming and love. Now normally this would be all, except for the small insignificant factoid that Hibiki is a Highlander! Don't you believe me? Well look! Here's Hibiki at age 17, and here she is again at age 27! You see? Every time she appears on screen, I keep expecting a climactic sword fight to break out between her and Connor McLeod! It's bound to be more entertaining than those garbage sequels! Our story begins with... You know what? Forget the first episode summary. The way this anime is partitioned, I'd have to repeat myself no less than 8 times. Amagami SS breaks from traditional series formats by dividing up its 26 episodes into little 4-episode bundles, each chronicling Junichi's story with each of his 6 leading ladies. Continuity is kept separate between each arc, essentially the story resets. Get it? Because this anime is based off a video game! Okay, this gag has gotten old. Now this format is a first for me, but I have to say it works in the anime's favor. Not only does it allow every girl her development, but it shows us how Junichi handles the different demands put forth by these relationships. Furthermore, we get to see how the female leads behave when they aren't the love interest, and how they interact with our hero. An interesting experience to say the least. Themes, what are the themes? Well, actually, instead of that, I propose we take a closer look at the central romances of every story. The road of love, as it were. It is the meat of an anime like this, after all. In every arc, there is an obstacle that Junichi and/or the starring girl must overcome in order for the best ending to play out. For example, Kaoru's arc is focused on the pair's realization that they are becoming more than friends, and the struggle is to sort out exactly what this means for the both of them. You would think this might get formulaic, but to the anime's credit, every arc is different in its tone and progression. For instance, Rihoko's arc, the roles are reversed and Junichi becomes the deuteragonist, as we see the story from Rihoko's eyes. Hell, Sai's arc has a goddamn narrator!
自動販売機だ。全国の食堂のおばさん、少年の失礼な発言をお許しのほど。
In case you were wondering, yes, that is George Nakata. Oh, Amagami SS, you spoil me! And by the way, I see what you did there. Well, there's a lot to like about this show, if I do say so myself. First off, the characters are strong and endearing, with not a bad apple among them. Even the supporting cast will grow on you, they're so charming. The novel presentation is also to be commended. More than just allowing for character development, the arcs are also show us the characters interact with one another, the leading ladies and recurring cast alike. It gives you a sense that the characters have lives outside of just the romances, which makes the anime seem all the more real. In fact, that's probably one of Amagami's strongest points, its realism. The relationships between Junichi and the heroines, for the most part, feel natural. You believe that romances such as these grow and blossom, and thus you can appreciate them all the better. Lastly, for all its realism, Amagami isn't above a healthy usage of humor. That the gags and comical situations manage to be both funny and organic to the plot makes it evident that the staff of this anime was serious in entertaining the audience, which I appreciate, of course. Now, this isn't to say Amagami is free of flaws. I haven't yet met an anime that is. Strong the writing may be, but it still has moments where it stumbles, resulting in a bit of disconnection for the viewer. I don't want to spoil anything, so I can't really elaborate, but I do feel that certain scenes and plots could have been handled a little better. Also, in counterpoint to what I said earlier about its realism, Amagami actually has one moment where it jumps the shark pretty blatantly, and to further salt the wound, this happens during a comedic scene. Again, I won't spoil anything, but I'm sure if you watch my review again, you will find the scene in question pretty fast. It's not that it ruins any enjoyment, but it's still, this moment will shatter your suspension of disbelief pretty decisively for the rest of the episode. On that you can trust me. Well, I think I've said all that needs to be said. Amagami SS is certainly a faithful anime to its gaming source in terms of format, and truly, the appropriateness of the presentation only serves to magnify what is undoubtedly a well-told series of stories with a bevy of likable characters. As I said, the writing has its hiccups, and that scene really is a head-scratcher, at least to me, but all in all, I am more than happy to have watched this little ditty. My final verdict for Amagami SS is an 8 out of 10, a great anime that rises above its fellows in the genre by virtue of its non-standard format and strong writing. I can easily recommend this to fans of romance stories and casual viewers alike. If you don't like sap, I can guarantee that you'll like the people providing it. And if not, then at least you'll have a bucket of fun and yucks to soothe your flinty hearts. Until next time, I am your cheerful torturer, the anti-viewer!